Got my man Barry King all the way from across the UKs. What's going on?
Hey, what's up, D? How you doing?
It's been a long time, man. I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah, it's been a couple of years. I
Yeah,
will
yeah,
say that.
absolutely. So tell everybody who you are and what you do.
This is DJ Barry King from London. Um, what I do is everything from actually breaking music from the get-go, managing artists, promoting them, even working with press in the UK. The whole point is to put the artists in a position they wasn't in previously or when I met you.
Okay. So touching base with you back then, you were working with a lot of artists, um, spinning their records. I know one in particular from Canada. You remember her?
Oh, Zile?
Oh,
Oh my God. I actually wondered what happened to her, she was, in my personal opinion, she had that, what some people may classify as the Erica Badu sound. She came under that umbrella. But I have no idea what happened to her. And if she had made it into the limelight, what would have happened? I often think about that because I've still got her music, and whenever I play them, the whole place is like, "What's this?" What, like they twitching. Like, um,
she was one of those untapped talents
she was
at the time.
definitely one of those untapped talents.
Who was she working with back then? You know?
Um, I think you was involved some.
Oh yeah, it was me. Yeah, you're right.
It was you, it was Rob, right?
Rod. Oh yeah, Rod from Street Chemistry. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. Cool.
it was you. I just remember you two that were working with her, and then I got involved. And she was, to be honest with you, she was poised because I got Mark Mack involved. He done a remix for her.
Right.
So and then he put it was one of the tracks she sang on. He also put an artist called Sean Escoffrey on it. So there's Zile's mix of it, and there's Sean Escoffrey's mix. So if I'm in the right place, then I play them back to back, and it really does make a difference to the party.
Gotcha. So moving on from that, what other artists have you pretty much was able to open up new avenues for?
Wow.
Since you've been in the game, you've been in the game a long time. So
I mean, I started people who are famous now. I definitely broke Erica Badu's music in the UK, in London. Legacy. I'm just giving you the ones that everyone now knows. Sunshine Anderson, Raheem DeVaughn, Jasmine Sullivan, Cardinal Official, Deborah Cox, Glenn Lewis, and that's just a Canadian lot. Right through the United States, right through uh, British artists, French. If the music is good, then I pay attention to it and I play it. That's what I do.
so can you tell us about a time you had with a particular artist, um, while they was either building their career or it was about to just go right to that plateau? Have you had any have you have any difficulty with some of those artists? Or
Yeah, well, I mean, you're going to have difficulties. It's just human nature. But for the most part, I would say everyone that I've worked with, we've there's always a level of respect because that's the way I come. I have to come at you with a level of respect. Whether you pass that back to me, that's another thing. but everyone that I can think of, and also the drummer, great drummer, Daru Jones. He was another one. I don't want to forget Daru because um, that whole team in New York, which was Daru's sister, there was a whole crew of us that was coming out of my apartment, basically, or our apartment at the time. Everyone was living there, and the whole thing was to Jimmy James from Los Angeles, uh, great vocalist she is. But I'm just trying to remember them as we go along. Yeah, there's no real problems. Everybody was just, it is what it is. Do you know?
So let's take it from Philly artists, New York artists that you wrote. Like, was it anybody that you really particularly had your hands on that was just like, I want them to go, I want them to blow? You know, can you share some insight on that?
Well, if you're talking about Philly artists, Lady Alma was one that, up to last year, 2023, we did a show in London with Lady Alma and Marley, the great Marley Marl. Also, Omar from London and Natalie from Flowetry was there on that particular gig. Two gigs, one in London, one in Manchester. Very good. That was a beautiful situation. Big shout out to Tony Walking Bear from Philadelphia and also Fitzroy, the buzzboy from London. They were really involved with making everything happen, along with myself. Um, but yeah, I would say Philadelphia. I'd say someone I really had my hand on was Jasmine, like working very closely with Jasmine and her mum, Pam. Rest in peace, Pam. Very, very beautiful woman, very beautiful nature, and got your back. So that's very important that I see that as well and feel that when with the people I'm working with, because I got your back. So it's nice when I can see that, I'm covered. Like someone can't come and snipe me from a different angle. The team I'm working with, they got me, you got to remember I'm from a different city, different country, and I'm in the US. It's very important. The family here ever since I've come to the United States, they've always looked after me. It doesn't matter what state I'm in. So as this interview goes along, I just want all of you to know, very grateful to you. And I do what I do for you. That's what I do. But we do it for each other. That's the key. It's the transference of power goes both ways.
So, moving up to date, what's going on with Bad King in the United States right now?
Right now, I just I got a call to come in. It was a Grammy. There was a Grammy holiday party in Washington, and that's in December. That was last week. So in September, an artist from Washington came to London. Her name's Wayna, Ethiopian lady, and she came in and she done quite a few amazing gigs and interviews while she was there. I was quite surprised. She was on Jules Holland's show, which is not an easy situation to get on, because Jules Holland is part of BBC, etc., etc. And it was also Ethiopian New Year around that time. So, I went to a really good Ethiopian uh, party and she performed there. It's very good. Yeah, so she was like, "You need to come back to the US. We need you. We need your help. We need what you do." So I came and DC, DMV seriously took care of me. Like I've got so much, so much respect for you all. You have no idea. And now I'm in North Carolina, so it's all love, you know.
Yeah, you made your way from DC to the Carolinas. Um, so let me ask you this. So you've been in the game a long time.
Not
Um,
that long, D.
okay, well,
Not
not that
that long.
long.
No.
You know, enough to break records and break artists. How do you feel about artistry today versus yesteryear?
uh, I feel that there's so many really talented people here in the United States. I think from a lot of people have come through the whole church thing, singing wise and playing instruments, and a lot of people also I know whose parents were band members, and like Jasmine's mother was part of MF is it MFSB? Yeah, part of Philadelphia, the orchestra. So she was very instrumental with the knowledge that she passed down to Jasmine, and just helped her along the way. I saw it. And I do know a lot of people whose parents and uncles or aunts were involved in groups and bands, but you have a lot of talent here, and it's almost as though there's no way for them to get out and for the rest of the world to see them. So I make that happen. But I'm looking for, your top tier. That's what I look for. The top tier. The ones that will make history, the ones that will, there's no messing around with their vocals or their keyboard skills or whatever, you know?
So tell me, the streaming game has changed a lot of artists' lives in many different ways. How do you feel about that?
The streaming?
Yeah. How do you
What?
feel about that?
It's just it's just new. I mean, when I was living here, I was doing shows where I got everyone together, but I'd pre-record them and send the shows back over to London to a radio station that I was on at the time. But now, since the actual streaming has started, I haven't been in the middle of it, but I'm about to um, join the revolution, so to speak. So, what that means is I'm going to start exposing a lot more hidden gems that you have right across from, say, Toronto all the way down to um, New Orleans. So, and from across from the East Coast to the West Coast, you've got a lot here. Um, that's what you got to do. You got to bring the heat to them. Because at the moment we've got quite a few artists leaving us, passing away. And if you ask me, and this is just my opinion, you haven't got the quality to replace them. You've got the quality here, but they're not being pushed. They're not being exposed on the radio, and it's not unbelievable because I have the same. I see the same thing in the UK. UK's got a lot of good artists, but they're not pushing them the way I think they should. But that's just, once again, this is just me speaking. This is a personal thing.
I think that it's a lot of folks like you and I that speak of the same thing. You think that it's because artists lack artist development now? Labels aren't doing that anymore. They've done away with it. So they kind of like on their own.
Yeah, definitely the artists, they're on their own. They've huddled in small communities, but how many of them know a Barry King? Or how many of them know how to get out of that situation? I came away from it because I did so much work, but sometimes you do a lot of work and there is not, it's unsung. People, they don't want to pay you, but you're taking them to a level that they can't pay for. You see what I mean? The doors that I can open for you, you can't pay for that. You know what I mean? You can't pay for it. So everyone has gone on to Spotify. Spotify, they're not helping you. You know, they're taking all your money. And here's Barry King that's injecting you straight in to a great audience, but they may not want to take care of you or do the right thing. So I just decided to leave the industry, and I've been out of it for at least 8, 9 years. I said, and this is a personal thing. I said, let them get on with it. Let's see what they do. And lo and behold, where's the new artist? Where's the next Jasmines? Where's the next Rahims? They're having a hard time breaking through. Do you know what I mean? But so be it. But I'm coming back in, and I'm gonna have some fun because I really enjoy finding someone that no one's been paying attention to. Their artistry is supreme. Notice the word I used, supreme. And then take that and put it all over my territory, which then comes back here. And then everybody gets to see them and they think that, oh, the label came along and found this artist, but no, that's not how it happened. And it is a story that actually needs to be spoken about, because even when I remember in the 90s what was happening, the late 90s, early 2000s, a lot of artists were getting press in the UK, and that press they would bring back to the US and bring it to the labels and like, oh, they're paying attention to us in the UK. Did you know that's how a lot of people were getting signed?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's how they were getting signed. It was,
I already know.
yeah, it was just literally on the back of UK magazines or UK this, and that was it. Because it was the UK, not so much the other European countries. It was us that was doing it. We were the ones that were breaking everybody, you know? And I really feel good to be that I was a part of it, or am a part of it. But I'm talking periodically. At that time, I was right in the front of it, actually. There was no other DJ in London that was playing 2 hours of independent music. There was no one.
Yeah, you was tearing it up.
There was no one that was doing it.
A lot of indie artists.
Yeah, and when I came out of it, now there's a lot of people doing something similar, but it's not what I was doing. So
I think between you and Wayne McDonald, I think y'all were the only two.
Who?
It was the name Wayne McDonald.
Oh, Wayne McDonald.
Yeah, I think y'all were the only two.
Yeah, but he wasn't. He was playing a lot of the label, the stuff coming straight from the labels,
right,
and a little bit of indie. I wasn't playing I was playing some of the major stuff like Sunshine Anderson. That was sent to me by, I can't even remember his name. I know it was Steve. His surname I can't remember. But he was working within the camp, and I knew him, and he was like, "This is something that I need." And that came over to me when I put it in and played it. I was like, "Oh my God!" And I started beating that every show, and the rest is history. You know. And There is no one in London that can say otherwise. If they do, please bring us together so I can find out where you was at this particular time. Because everything, I got receipts for what I talk about, you know? Um, yeah, like I said, the American independent community, they have been behind me 100%. And I would like to shout out Eric Roberson. He's from Philadelphia. And also Russell Taylor. He's from
Russell
Philly
Taylor,
also.
yeah.
Um, those two, I remember. I saw Russell the other day in Washington. And I had to remind him. I said, Russell, do you remember what you and Eric done? They sent an email out to all the independent artists saying, we all need to get our music to Barry King in London. He's playing our music. This is how dire it was for indie. Nobody was playing indie. I was in DC. What radio station was I? I was on a radio station in Washington. Big shout out to DJ RBI. Thank you very much, sir, for allowing me on your show. And also Jeffrey C's show, house show. Yeah, there's no one playing the independent. And to me, I'm like, unbelievable. Why? So I have a mission right now. Because I went there and everyone was they were like really, really Tamara Wellens, Priest the Nomad, like.
So do you think that it's because of the DJs here are not playing them? You think it's a money thing, or do you think it's a?
I really don't. One thing I never do is talk about other DJs, because once you start talking about other DJs, the next thing is going to be, who do you think you are? And I try to steer away from any form of controversy. The only thing I will say is, you do what you do and I do what I do, because I know what my channel is and I know what I'm here to do, and I know I'm skilled at what I do. I don't like playing the stuff from the labels. I just don't hear anything that excites me. So I look for clean music. I don't like music where people need to swear. If you send me something and it's got swearing in it, I will edit it. That's just the way I am. And I don't like to hear music where we're downgrading each other. I mean, there's enough going on in the world where, things are not looking very good for us as a community, for us to be putting ourselves down, putting our women down, for me, it's not for me. There's the youngsters coming up, and we need to get their heads straight. We need to make sure that they're conducting themselves in the correct manner, and that's just how I see.
So you're on the Untold interview, one of the dopest platforms right now. What is something that somebody don't know about you, or about a situation that needs to be told, should be told? Just one.
What nobody really knows. Well, they might, but I didn't find music. I was literally, when I was born, my parents, my father had a sound system. So music, records has been around me as long as I know myself. My uncle used to have a big club in the UK, in London, first black-owned club south of the river. So you got obviously you got north, south, east, and west, but we predominantly was south of the river in an area called Brixton. And my uncle, um, his club was definitely the first owned by us. And it wasn't just a club where you went in and played music. It was a club where you had artists coming in and performing, etc., etc. And a lot of the American artists at that time were coming in to perform, and they would say, "Well, where's the family? Where did they party? Where are they?" And they'd bring them to my uncle's club because that's where it was happening. You know what I mean? So I know people like Gino Washington. I know the Degrees went there. Um, uh, if my aunt was here, she would give you the full story. I mean, I wasn't, I wasn't, I was just a child,
Right.
but
Right.
everything soaks into you, you know? So,
So you
yeah.
landed on music by accident,
No,
basically.
I don't look at it like that. I look at it as a form of, I mean, some you might think, what's he talking about? But I find it like it's almost like a destiny thing because I've always been able, and they used to put a crate, like a milk crate, for me to stand on to reach the controls. So I've always been playing, and I knew the music as well because they'd be there going through them and marking them, and I'd be right there. So I would know how to play the tunes, and I knew. So I came away from music and sports take over for a lot of us. I'm a soccer fanatic at that time. I was quite prolific. And but that's another whole story. That's another whole thing. But definitely, I came through the whole sound system thing right up until I was about 13. And if you want, at that time, they were playing soul in the parties. They were playing reggae and those two, and a little bit of calypso, little. But reggae and soul music, depending on what time the soul would come in at certain time, because that's the kind of music you dance with your woman to. You with me? Soul. And great times, great times, great times. But those lessons are embedded in me, and I let it come out because, you know, it's very important to keep the new music going. It's very important to give the other young people an opportunity to get up there. All these things are important to me. We need to keep the standards high.
So how do you feel about the new music today, though?
Oh,
It's changed a lot, would you say?
it's changed a lot. I think there's an agenda why the music has changed. I'd actually think the music has been weaponized, if you ask me. You know that? There's no love in it. There's no knowledge. There's no peace. Play me something where we're doing, there's something in there that's your grandmother and the children are supposed to listen to at the same time and everyone in between. But you would say, oh, keep quiet, you're old or you're of this generation. You can say that, but you're going to get old. The age I am, if you're lucky, you will get to my age. But the key to getting to when as you're aging is wisdom. And without wisdom, my friends, you're in trouble. You know, so the music is a part of us, and so we have to have it on a good level. So if you look at it, it's like, let's say that it's split in half because we got some people that like quote unquote the modern stuff, and you got a lot of people that like the stuff I talk about. You know, um, you give them what they want, I give them what they. Let's leave it at that. We can all be friends. You know.
So there's been a lot of talk in the industry now about artists getting caught up, dying, going to jail, scandals. What's your take on that?
It's always been there. I actually think it's always been there. I think there's so many secrets that have never been told. There's a lot. There's a lot. If there's money involved, everything goes out the window, it seems. Morals, dignity, just money, don't there? And when you get the money and you've got it, then what? You know? But I haven't got the money like that, so I can't. But I'm just saying, you know, then
So,
what? What you happy with it? You happy with all the decisions that you've made? If you are, then so be it. It's all right. It's not my. I'm not here to judge anybody. I'm just here to uh, do what I think is correct. And my thing is taking care of family wherever they are in the planet. And age doesn't matter. Your skin tone don't matter. That's my thing. That's the way I was brought up, to look after your brother and your sister. That is it. You know.
so Barry King, you're in the UK's, London, right?
I am.
What's the music scene over there?
Well, they've got the youngsters have got a music form that they call grime, which is, to me, it's a cross between the hip hop that was being made here, like I think it's out of the South. It's a mixture of reggae, dancehall, and yeah, I think if you ask me personally, I think those two are the main ingredients for grime, and they talk what they talk. They talk their life as they see it and what they do. Um, there's we've also got a lot of house being made there, a lot of broken beats. Some people would, it's a UK style of music. I love it, broken beats, to be honest. But a lot of it to me is old jazz. Old jazz, but maybe a little sample here where it's really defined. They've taken that and they've incorporated it with other styles, other flavors, and made another genre. But it's also very hip hop. It's also very Latin. It's also very Afro beats, like not modern Afro beats, like Fela Kuti, that kind of stuff. Jazz, gospel, very good. And there's a lot of soul there as well.
So who's on your playlist when you're traveling across the world?
There's just a lot of artists that are what I would say they're under the radar. A lot of producers that are under the radar.
Name a few. Just name a few off the top of your head.
Producers from Philly, PKR. He sends me a lot of stuff. I met him through Lady Alma and Tony. They had a dinner party. Like while I was there, they invited some friends round, and he came and he was like, "I'm gonna start sending you some stuff." So he sent me some stuff, he smashes up a Doobie Brothers record, like beats it.
Oh,
Like he sent me some bits and pieces. I'm like, then you've got Roddy Rod, producer in Washington called Roddy Rod. Daru Jones is making a lot of good stuff. Like apart from his work with the Jack White, the rock band Jack White, but he's doing a lot of other stuff. Choppy Chop. While I was in DC, I met a lot of producers there. So that whole thing is about to start, you know? You definitely need to pay attention to a vocalist called Cicely from Washington, almost reminiscent of Minnie Riperton. Also, Wayner. Also, Ty Salam. Um, yeah, I'll leave it there for now. The
oh.
rest of them haven't paid me.
So before we wrap up, got one question for you. Who you going with, Big Lotto or Lauryn Hill?
Who?
Big Lotto or Lauryn Hill?
Lauryn Hill.
My guy, Barry King, is a pleasure. And where you going? What camera you on?
Untold.